So good afternoon and welcome to our final interview of IBC 2013. Colin, it's fabulous to have you back, CEO of Exterity.
Thank you.
We're in the final hours, we're
I
still
feel
here.
privileged to be the last person on your list. Thanks very much.
No, what you should, because we're saving this spot to get the big view of what's happened at the show overall. And it's been a very successful show for a number of clients here in Connected World. What has your experience been?
So the whole show has been fantastic. I know last year we had a very good experience here in the Connected World. This year I think is a step up from that. It's really been fantastic. The number of our partners and customers who have come to the show, who have come a chance to find out more about our new products, new technologies, our new initiatives, but just the general flow of people, the questions, the interest, the market feels very. I mean, it's always. I always find that the broadcast market is very buoyant, but it feels kind of extra.
There's more energy.
Yes, I think that's it.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting actually. Qualcomm was saying last night about that there's more conversations going on between content owners, broadcasters, and the technology vendors in a way that just hasn't really happened in a long while.
I think that's a very fair way to reflect on it. I mean, I guess we're seeing some new technologies coming to the fore, which are maybe a little bit early in terms. A little bit careful what I say, but H.265 and HEVC, people are beginning to see that and see the potential of that, but it's not quite there yet in terms of mass deployment. But I think those things are actually generating an interesting discussion.
Absolutely.
And that's exciting.
And I think that for us in the Connected World has been a really key point, because it's as though we've all realised, okay, we had all these great dreams and visions of various technologies, some of which have been deployed very well. Others are not quite there yet, but we also have learned we actually need to talk together.
Yes, I think that's fair.
And then it does come together in a way that works for everybody in the ecosystem. So one of the announcements that you've made at IBC here this year is you're the first enterprise IPTV specialist to launch an HDCP V2 security, which is going to sit alongside your secure media application. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Well done. It's quite a mouthful.
It's the end of the show.
So, no, absolutely. For us, as we provide an enterprise IPTV system, our enterprise users are very dependent are very dependent on the broadcasters for their content. And they're absolutely forced to meet the needs of content protection needs of the broadcasters. Sometimes they want to try and avoid that, but they absolutely can't. They've got to absolutely tie down, make sure they comply with everything that the broadcasters request. HDCP is a very important protection technology for the broadcasters, and we've added that to our portfolio so that we can reliably take HDMI output, which is protected by HDCP, and deliver that effectively over the enterprise network. But as I say, I think you very quite rightly said it's just part of the solution. We have that alongside our conditional access technologies, alongside our secure media integration, so that when the broadcaster says yes to the enterprise, yes, you can have these channels, but you have to protect them in this way, they know they can come to Exterity and we can provide that facilitation with our products.
So it's not only about protection, it's about monetization, or protecting that monetization.
Exactly. It was interesting when we spoke over the last year, we were speaking with Canal Plus, and one of the big drivers for them in enforcing a content protection scheme into their commercial customers is that concern that channel that's being used, paid for 10 times might be getting used 100 times, and they want to ensure they can enforce and achieve the monetization for that content.
So in a nutshell, it's not about or just about the consumers who are trying to download content illegally and the piracy around that. It's actually ensuring that from an operator level and a broadcaster level, they're actually ensuring their own protection into the middle of the market before it even gets to the consumer.
Exactly.
And I think it's interesting because we had a debate here at the show a couple of days ago, and we had a lady, Christina Mixon from the States, who does a lot of work with the NBA and various sports broadcasters, and she was saying how she still found it so frustrating because she can see a lot of sports, but she wanted to be able to download the latest version of Downton Abbey, You must know what Downton
I
Abbey
do,
is.
yes. No, I don't watch it myself. But I do know what it is.
A quick caveat
Yeah.
there. And as a result, she literally, she's sitting in the States in New York. She is still frustrated by the fact that although she can go onto Netflix and get the last series,
Yes.
and she paid for that after watching the first series, she's itching to see what's happening. And somebody in the audience said, well, you just download it. You just can get it anyway. And I
Yes.
said, well, yeah, but that's the point. We can't do that. We are professionals within
Exactly.
the industry. And at the same time, if we're not protecting ourselves within the industry, come on.
I think that's absolutely true. And I mean, we see that with our enterprise clients. They absolutely can do lots of things,
Yeah.
but they know they shouldn't. And so therefore they try to do things, quite rightly, in the correct way. They do not want
Yes.
someone knocking on the door and saying, Mr. Large Bank, you're
Yes.
using this content appropriately. It's just the same as software piracy.
Absolutely.
Microsoft knock on the door and say, we want to check to make sure you've got all your licenses.
Yes.
The same thing is true with this
Yes.
content they're using. They want to ensure they comply with the requirements of the...
And unless we
deal.
manage that as an industry, then we all lose out.
I think that's right.
Ultimately.
Yes, I think that's right.
So it's a very, but again, I think going back to what we were saying, that there seems to be a lot more conversation and discussion around the various points of making everything from metadata
Yes.
to piracy and security, to then the solutions and the interoperability of those solutions, to the devices on which the content
Yes,
is
I think
being
that's true.
consumed.
In fact, we've seen that evidence. We've seen a few of the broadcasters that perhaps over the years we've tried to speak to, but had some difficulty because they're very
Yeah.
focused on a particular approach.
Yeah.
But now they're wanting to have a dialogue and discuss how they can take their content and monetize it in different ways, but still enforce and maintain the
Yeah.
security and protection of that content
Yeah.
through to the end delivery.
Excellent. Colin, I know you still have a number of meetings
I
to
do,
do
yes.
here at the show, so I'm going to let you go. But thank you for really sort of ending IBC 2013 on such a positive note, which I think is the industry is collaborating and trying to understand better between broadcasters, content owners, solutions and service providers, ultimately how we play together to monetize what we want from a content perspective whilst protecting the fantastic quality that's being produced in content.
Thank you, Celia.
consumption. Brilliant. Thank you,
Okay.
Colin.